BioAnimation of Cancer, Episode 2, The Code of Life. Inside every cell of your body, there is a blueprint, an extraordinary, intricate code that defines who you are, how you grow, and how your body functions. This is the story of DNA. To find it, we must journey deep into the heart of the cell, through the cytoplasm, and into the command center, the nucleus. Here, protected and organized, lies the genetic material of life. The DNA isn't just floating freely. It is tightly coiled and packed into structures called chromosomes. Human beings typically have 23 pairs of these, carrying the information passed down through generations. If we were to uncoil a single chromosome and stretch out the DNA, we would see the famous double helix. This twisting ladder is made of 4 chemical bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. The specific order of these bases is what makes you, you. Segments of this DNA are known as genes. Each gene contains the instructions to build specific proteins, the workhorses of the cell that perform nearly every function required for life, from digestion to immunity. For your body to grow and repair itself, your cells must divide. This means the DNA must be copied perfectly through a process called replication. The double helix unzips and new strands are built base by base. But this process isn't always perfect. Sometimes errors occur. These are mutations. While the cell has molecular machinery to scan and repair these mistakes, some errors can slip through the cracks. When these mutations occur in genes that control how fast a cell divides, the consequences can be life-altering. This is the biological foundation of cancer, uncontrolled cell growth triggered by damage to our very code. In our next episode, we will dive deeper into how these cellular errors evade the body's defenses. Subscribe to follow the journey through the microscopic world of biology. Avoid unnecessary labels and clutter in the middle. Every story about cancer leads us back to one remarkable molecule: DNA, the code of life. Inside almost every cell in your body is a nucleus. And inside that nucleus is DNA, a molecule that stores the instructions for life. DNA is not just a chemical. It is an information system. It carries the instructions that help cells grow, function, repair themselves, and reproduce. Its structure is famous. 2 strands twist around each other to form a double helix. This shape helps DNA store information in a stable and highly organized way. DNA is built from smaller units called nucleotides: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. A pairs with TC pairs with G. The order of these bases creates a biological language. That sequence is what stores genetic information. In a sense, DNA is written in a 4-letter code. But DNA is extremely long. To fit inside the nucleus, it must be carefully packaged. It wraps around proteins and becomes more compact. When DNA is tightly packaged, it forms chromosomes. Humans normally have 46 chromosomes in most body cells. These chromosomes organize our genetic material so it can be copied and passed on accurately. Within DNA are genes. A gene is a specific segment of DNA that contains instructions for making a functional product, usually a protein. Proteins do much of the work in the body. They build structures, send signals, drive chemical reactions, and help cells respond to their environment. This is why DNA matters so deeply. It helps determine how a cell behaves. When the instructions are accurate, the cell can function normally. Before a cell divides, it must copy its DNA. This process is called DNA replication. It is one of the most important and precise events in biology. The DNA double helix begins to unzip. A replication fork forms. New strands start to build. Each original strand serves as a template. New complementary strands are built, so one DNA molecule becomes 2. This copying process is remarkably accurate. Cells also have repair systems that detect and fix many errors. But DNA is not invincible. Damage can happen. Radiation, harmful chemicals, replication mistakes, and normal cellular stress can all affect DNA. When damage is repaired correctly, the cell stays healthy. But if an important error remains, the genetic message can change. That change is called a mutation. Not every mutation causes cancer, but mutations in the wrong genes can disturb the systems that control growth, repair, and cell division. That is where the biology of cancer begins. So to understand cancer, we must first understand DNA, because DNA is more than a molecule. It is the code that helps guide life itself. In the next episode, we will go deeper into mutations, DNA damage, and how genetic control can begin to break down. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice.